Hey, Cece of North Olmsted Tutors. This is for week 16, Great Artists. We're doing Monet, and I'm excited about this week because I bought tiny little easels for all the kids to use. So this will be their setup besides the... You get that? And everyone will have little cards of Monet, little postcards to work off of. And again, the paper plate with tempera paint, just to make it easier than the watercolor. We will do that. Now the important part about Monet, I was watching a YouTube video about him. Oh, and each of your kids will have 8x10 canvases, not the tiny one that I'm using. Mine is left over from another year. I bought exactly 48 of these canvases, so if you wanted to practice on the smaller ones for a sample, that would be great. But I was watching a YouTube video about how Monet worked, and by reading page 39 of your Discovering Great Artists books, it comes out with the same thing. So you're going to set up your area and he immersed himself in nature. We just don't have time or space, but hopefully you can encourage your parents to do this with their kids outside in the spring when it's a little nicer weather. But we're just going to look at the prints, and we're going to practice dabbling paint and smushing it with, we'll use paper towels to make it easy, but I will turn my camera. Okay, so I started again with my primary colors. I had red. This is the same palette I used for the Gainsborough, so it has some leftover colors, but I took red and blue to make a dark purple, and then yellow and blue to make a darker green. And I put it on a big brush, which we have these for the kids to use for this, because we'll need to do a background. And the artist, now I'm not an artist, but I can mimic what other people do. And this is what Monet was doing, dabbing and dragging. And tell them to leave the bottom half of theirs open, because we're gonna drag some white into there. And again, remember, we're not creating masterpieces here, but we are having fun and trying to mimic what the great artists did. So if we can get them just to dab a little bit, dabble in the paint, then that would be great. So here I am, dabbling. And then the artist that I was watching, I'll put a link to his video also. Let's see. So he would dab and smooth it and make horizontal lines a little bit with his rag. So I don't know, it's cool to get the background. And then Monet used a lot of layers. He said it took him, he would work for an hour and then let it dry because he used oils. We don't have that kind of time, so we're just gonna do a light layer. But you can explain this to the kids as it goes. So, whoops, this is hard to do with this phone in my hand. But we can get a base layer going, and then also give them white. I'll pour myself a tiny bit of white here. And drag the darker colors down. But he's cautioned not too many darker colors, because then you lose your brightness. And then he said, bring some of the white up to the top, some horizontal strokes with your vertical. I don't know. I'm not an artist, but it gives you a little bit of an idea of what to do. So we can build on this base layer in just a moment. Okay, so I'm explaining what I'm doing as if you're the kids. I have my base layer with the white at the bottom. Mine does not look as good as what the YouTube video is, but it's mine, and the kids will look. So make sure to have some vertical white lines, and then take the contrasting colors like yellow, and then he used pink too, so I'll make some pink here to start putting what is on top of the water, and it looks like it's floating eventually. Anyway, so this is I was trying to draw a lily pad here, which now looks like a crazy tongue. I don't know what I did, but I did something. So make it a little more green. Anyway, I just did a little portion of the bottom. I didn't do the giant bridge, but just to give them an idea of impression. I like how the guy said to squint at it to make sure, squint at it and see if that'll help you see the impression of what you're doing rather than detail, like you're gonna read it. So anyway, that is my my Monet. Thank you.